Can you name another set-top box that's still getting first-party patches more than 10 years after it launched? Well, that's exactly what's happening with the Nvidia Shield. This thing genuinely does not know when to quit. I think in some small portion it's because it uses the same CPU, like system on a chip, that the first Nintendo Switch used, the Tegra chip. You know, it's 10 years old. It's no spring chicken anymore, particularly in the tech world. And over the years, the updates and the apps and the background services have gradually built up, and mine just kind of started to feel a little bit stodgy and a little bit sluggish. A bit lethargic, really. I can definitely relate to that after the last 10 years. So I'm currently getting everything ready for the Android TV Jellyfin client showdown, which is coming very soon, by the way. And I wanted to share how I brought this Shield back to life. Now, I used codecs and AI over the network, along with ADB, to connect to the Shield and work out what could safely be removed and clean out a lot of the old clutter in the background. A few of you asked in a live stream to see a video on this, so that's what this video is going to be. The end result, though, is a device that feels noticeably faster and really, honestly, kind of faster than it did 10 years ago somehow. Now, you don't necessarily need AI to do any of this either, but you know how it goes with these coding agents. They just do so much so quickly. Everything can be done manually, so hopefully you'll pick up a few tips along the way. All right, so I have my trusty Nvidia Shield. By the way, this remote it doesn't look like much, does it? But this is the Nvidia Shield kind of Toblerone triangle remote. Now, my Shield came with a flat remote 10 years ago. Just like any other flat remote, it gets lost down the side of sofa cushions and you can never pick it up properly. And then I got this silicone sock for this triangle one. And now it's grippy. It never goes down the side of couch cushions. This is the perfect remote. I love this thing. All right, so I now have over here codecs ready to go with a prompt saying, you know, I have an Nvidia Shield that's running slowly. I won't read the whole prompt to you. Essentially, though, I want it to talk me through the process of enabling ADB on the Nvidia Shield and then make sure that it can connect to it and do its wizardry behind the scenes. Okay, so it's going to walk me through this process and I'll do it with you. So we'll go to Android settings. You'll notice I'm already using a non-stock launcher called Project TV Launcher. About, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, Google decided to shove a bunch of ads in the main Google TV launcher. I don't want that. I don't need to see that. So I found this app called Project TV Launcher. I've been really happy with it ever since. Anyway, a slight digression. Let's go into Device Preferences and About, and then I need to select the, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing that thing Android makes you do to become a developer. And now I've unlocked developer options down the bottom here. And then I need to look for debugging, network debugging. That's what we need. So I now need to grab the IP address of my Nvidia Shield. So I will go back into network and internet, and there we go, 10.42.7.33. So I'll just plug that into codecs and okay, is the IP of the Shield. Let's go. Show your work. All right, so the codecs program now is just going to go away, talk to OpenAI, do all of its stuff using the, well, hold on, the 5.6 model's been released now. Why don't I use 5.6 Sol, and advanced should be fine. Okay, it's all prompted. It's all ready to go. I won't make you sit here and watch the AI do its thing. What I'll do is at the end, I'll get it to summarize what it did and walk you through the process as well. Now, isn't this interesting? It's found that the original Google TV launcher is still the default and running in the background. So Project TV is loaded in the foreground, but also behind it is the original Google TV launcher. So effectively, the Nvidia Shield's having to draw 2 launchers at once. No wonder it feels a little bit sluggish sometimes. So in 4.5 minutes, Codecs thinks it's done. It's disabled the default Google TV launcher, and Project TV is now the default home app. It's also doubled the animation speed, so things feel a lot snappier. But let's open the Android TV app and get myself logged in. Now, this isn't a review of this particular client or anything like that, but let's just, I mean, you can see, right? You can just see, this just feels fast. Like every time I click on something, there's no hesitation. All of the album art's loading perfectly. You know, it's just great. What's not to like about this? Honestly, I love these guys, by the way. They're so crazy. But yeah, it's essentially like that's how you can start to use AI to actually be useful around the house. Like as long as you can get it access to the remote tools, and in this case over ADB network debugging, it was able to reach out to the Nvidia Shield and make it feel as good as new. I tell you, this stuff, there's no way I would have picked up half of this stuff, and certainly not in 4.5 minutes. Now, I mentioned that you don't necessarily need to use AI to do this, and you can see that here are the principal changes that it made. It logged all of the ADB shell commands that it used to change the animation speeds and the background services, all that kind of stuff. So if that's you and you don't want to use AI to do this, principally speaking, you can just do it like this as well once you've got ADB enabled. And again, just another example of how this stuff can be actually pretty useful. In 1.5 minutes, it goes through and it checks swap pressure, memory pressure. It checks the amount of storage that's used, the CPU and GPU temperatures, that kind of thing. Because these devices, they're sort of, I think this one's at least 6 years old. The thermal paste starts to get a little crummy around that age. So, seeing these temperatures here, that's something I can just keep an eye on, maybe. Maybe I could throw it into Hermes and have Hermes do a check every month just to check what the ambient temperature is inside my Shield. Reviewing a bunch of always-on apps, blah, blah, blah. Like, just look at all this stuff. Like, I'm not going to go through it all on the video, but there is just so much here that you could tweak and really get down into the weeds and make your Shield feel brand new again. So a quick video today, I think, but I wanted to sort of walk you through the process of how I've improved my Nvidia Shield no end ahead of the Jellyfin July Android TV client testing. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, I've been Alex from KTZ Systems.